Episodic memory is information about events we have personally experienced, i.e., an episode. For instance, the memory of your last birthday is an episodic memory. Usually, episodic memory is reported as a story. The concept of episodic memory was first proposed about in the 1970s. Tulving, 1972. Since then, Tulving and others have reformulated the theory, and currently, scientists believe that episodic memory is memory about happenings in particular places at particular times, the what, where, and when of an event. Tulving, 2002. It involves recollection of visual imagery as well as the feeling of familiarity. Hassabis and Maguire, 2007. Semantic memory is knowledge about words, concepts, and language-based knowledge and facts. Semantic memory is typically reported as facts. Semantic means having to do with language and knowledge about language. For example, answers to the following questions like what is the definition of psychology and who was the first African-American president of the United States are stored in your semantic memory. Implicit memories are long-term memories that are not part of our consciousness. Although implicit memories are learned outside of our awareness and cannot be consciously recalled, implicit memory is demonstrated in the performance of some task. Rodiger, 1990, Schachter, 1987. Implicit memory has been studied with cognitive demand tasks, such as performance on artificial grammars. Reber, 1976. Word memory, Jacobi, 1983. Jacobi and Witherspoon, 1982, and learning unspoken and unwritten contingencies and rules, Greenspoon, 1955, Giddon and Erickson, 1959, Krieghaus and Erickson, 1960. Returning to the computer metaphor, implicit memories are like a program running in the background, and you are not aware of their influence. Implicit memories can influence observable behaviors, as well as cognitive tasks. In either case, you usually cannot put the memory into words that adequately describe the task. There are several types of implicit memories, including procedural, priming, and emotional conditioning. A diagram consists of 3 rows of boxes. The box in the top row is labeled long-term memory. A line from the box separates into 2 lines, leading to 2 boxes on the second row, labeled explicit memory and implicit memory. From each of the second row boxes, lines split and led to additional boxes. From the explicit memory box are 2 boxes labeled episodic events and experiences and semantic concepts and facts. From the implicit memory box are 3 boxes labeled procedural, how to do things. Priming, stimulus exposure affects responses to a later stimulus, and emotional conditioning, classically conditioned emotional responses. Figure 8.6. There are 2 components of long-term memory, explicit and implicit. Explicit memory includes episodic and semantic memory. Implicit memory includes procedural memory and things learned through conditioning. Implicit procedural memory is often studied using observable behaviors. Adams, 1957. Lacey and Smith, 1954. Lazarus and McCleary, 1951. Implicit procedural memory stores information about the way to do something, and it is the memory for skilled actions, such as brushing your teeth, riding a bicycle, or driving a car. You were probably not that good at riding a bicycle or driving a car the first time you tried, but you were much better after doing those things for a year. Your improved bicycle reading was due to learning balancing abilities. You likely thought about staying upright in the beginning, but now you just do it. Moreover, you probably are good at staying balanced, but cannot tell someone the exact way you do it. Similarly, when you first learned to drive, you probably thought about a lot of things that you just do now without much thought. When you first learned to do these tasks, Someone may have told you how to do them, but everything you learn since those instructions that you cannot readily explain to someone else as the way to do it is implicit memory. Implicit priming is another type of implicit memory. Schachter, 1992. During priming, exposure to a stimulus affects the response to a later stimulus. Stimuli can vary and may include words, pictures, and other stimuli to elicit a response or increase recognition. For instance, some people really enjoy picnics. They love going into nature, spreading a blanket on the ground, and eating a delicious meal. Now, unscramble the following letters to make a word. AETPL. What word did you come up with? Chances are good that it was plate. Had you read, some people really enjoy growing flowers. They love going outside to their garden, fertilizing their plants, and watering their flowers. You probably would have come up with the word petal instead of plate. Do you recall the earlier discussion of semantic networks? The reason people are more likely to come up with plate after reading about a picnic is that plate is associated, linked with picnic. Plea.